All right, here we go. I am Kobie the Wiz, and I am here with Mr.
Craig Q. King, and I am honored to be here, my brother.
Man, I am just so happy. I've been waiting for this part, so to have this conversation, man. So I am getting ready to launch this book. Learning happens through conversations, 5 leadership lessons for Masterful Living. And, you've been here pretty much the whole way, man. And so this conversation I really wanted to have.
Yeah.
Because I want the people to hear from somebody, right? Of course, you're going to hear from me, right? But to hear about the process and a bit about what's in the book, not necessarily from me, but someone who saw it birthed.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I think that it was of value to hear the process and not just, from a different perspective of what I was going through, what you saw I was going through, but also by going through the process, what it took you through as well.
Man, absolutely. So the key word that you just used, launch. And
right.
we talked about that.
We did.
Talked about, because originally it wasn't always launch.
Nah, it was released.
It was released.
It was released. So what he's talking about is, let me back up a little bit. So this book, y'all, was written in 7 days. I don't know if y'all said that or know that, but 7 days.
7 days.
It was written in 7 days. And I was told to have not only the book ready in 7 days, but on the 8th day, be ready to release it. And anybody who's written a book know, like, that's different. Like, having the book written and then having the book ready is different. And so that means the ISBN number, copyright stuff, editing bit, the cover done, all of that. So that was the directions. The directions were have it done in 7 days, ready to release on day 8, which was scary for me. And so I got ready to release the book, y'all. I finished it on day 8, on day 7, 7 days. Day 8, had the cover ready, had everything. We had everything on Amazon, getting ready to pick it up. I'm getting ready to just like hit the button to drop it. And he said, don't release it, launch it. And I said, okay, what's that look like?
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, what's that look like? So,
And when you shared that with me, not to cut you off, Kobie, but when you shared that with me, I immediately thought about like NASA. Thought about how when they prepare, everything that goes into preparing for that launch. And obviously you didn't have the time that NASA has.
No, I didn't have the time. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Right, but you completed the assignment in 7 days. And you remember we were like, all right, now we're ready. On Saturday. We're going to launch it or release it. And then you got that message. And the process not just the process that I want to talk about, those 7 days, but just seeing now, like the days and how you're preparing for this launch is unlike anything I've ever seen. And so I published a book and I was on my own time, so you weren't on your time because you've been saying every day, I did not write this book.
Right.
I wrote this book.
I wrote this book, but I did not write this book.
Right. And so for me, and just to give you guys some background, how I got brought into this process, Kobie and I, we get on a weekly call with Ron Harvey. Shout out to Ron Harvey.
Shout out to Ron Harvey.
Perry.
Yeah, Mike Perry.
And so I guess it was 2 weeks ago today.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago today, Kobie sent me a message towards the end of the call. Hey, you got a few minutes to talk. Want to rap to you about something. So I'm like, yeah. When Kobie calls, you listen. When Kobie talks, Kobie Wilkerson, you listen. You pick up the phone. And so, I had no idea on the journey that I was about to embark with you. And just to be able to be, asked to go on this journey with you, I had no idea by the end of the week, this conversation that you were privy to with this doctor, I had no idea that it was going to impact me in such a way. And I shared this with you offline. I felt honored that you chose me, to go along on this ride with you. And I'll share something else that Kobie probably doesn't want me to share. Kobie is definitely responsible for the title of my book. Not everything, but the number in my book. Because I remember we were at the conference in Myrtle Beach.
We were.
Kingston Plantation.
Scapsy.
At Scapsy. Shout out to Scapsy. And I told you the title of my book that was downloaded to me from the Most High. He woke me up at like 5:30 in the morning. I write about it in my book and how he whispered in my ear, the path to exceptional living, exceptional lessons to live an extraordinary life or whatever. And you said something to me. You said, Kobie, Craig, you need to put a number in that. And then you broke down why I needed a number. And it has blessed me so much. Not just me, but for my pockets.
Right.
That little bit.
Hey.
And so when Kobie called me, and not because he did that for me, Kobie's just a stand-up guy. If you know Kobie, you know he would do anything for anybody if he could. And so going back to the journey of this book, when you reached out to me and said, hey, I don't think either one of us knew how I was going to be in this. I think initially, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I was there to, hear this idea and provide whatever support in that one phone call.
Right.
And you tell me if I'm wrong. I think it was just that initial, hey, let me reach out to my brother Craig.
It was.
Boom, boom, boom.
It did not. I did not think that it was going to evolve into what it did.
Yeah.
So I called. I was just like, let me share this idea with him. And you were like, bro, whatever you need. Like whatever you need, I'm here. However I can help, however I can serve, let me know. And I said, okay, all right. And this is, so I got the message, y'all, that, I had to write this book on Saturday. And this was Monday morning. So Saturday's day 1, Sunday's day 2, Monday's day 3.
You hadn't written nothing yet.
Bruh. Listen here, bruh. So when I tell y'all, I got the 5 chapters of the book. So I was given the 5 chapters of the book. So I knew what the chapters of the book were going to be. And so, here we go. Chapter 1 was stay in your lane, run your race. Chapter 2 is playing to win. Chapter 3, figuring it out, solving problems. Chapter 4, going for more, building your bridges. And chapter 5 is living versus staying alive. So I had the chapters.
Yeah.
So I knew how many chapters the book was going to be. But y'all, by Monday, I hadn't finished chapter 1 yet when Craig and I had the conversation. This was Monday morning. So y'all know I only had 7 days. He told me it had to be done by Friday. So this is Monday.
At midnight.
It had to be done by Friday at midnight. So on Monday, by Monday, I know you're like, you had Saturday and Sunday. And listen, I told him, like, bro, I got to write. Listen. He's like, bro, however I can help.
Yeah.
So I started writing and said, I think I'm going to be done with chapter 1 today.
I remember you said that.
I was like, I started writing a little bit. I think I'm going to be done. So if I can just send it to you and you can just see, just give me some feedback. Just give me some feedback. And then from that Monday, bro, every day, several times a day.
Yeah.
Text message, phone calls, the whole 9.
Yeah, everything. And shout out to my wife and shout out to your wife.
Yes.
Tasia King for being, just okay, do what you got to do, and that week, magically for me, that week just opened up for me. It wasn't much that I had to move around, but the time commitment that we know went into this was very, late nights, sometimes 11:30 at night,
right?
Sometimes early in the morning, sometimes in the middle
midnight,
of the day.
Craig, you up?
Yeah, Craig. that was it. Craig, you up? And I'm like, what's up, man? Let's talk. What you got? And so for me, just talking about this book, and I'm not going to give you too many nuggets because you need to purchase this book when it launches on September 21st. All right? But this book revealed so many things to me. And it revealed some things to me about Kobie. He read chapter 1 yesterday.
Yes, I did.
Well, yesterday, but you read chapter 1.
Yeah.
So
this is gonna be airing on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but you read chapter 1 already. But this book explained a lot to me about you that I already knew,
Mm-hmm.
but it solidified some things about you that, you know, when you meet Kobie in a professional person setting, whatever, I automatically knew that Kobie was confident in who he was. I remember it like yesterday, the first time I met you. It was at the State House at the MLK March. You and Ashley were out there, and you had on your gold Omega coat. I remember it like it was yesterday. We met, we chatted or whatever, and, you know, friendship since then, but great friendship since then. But the confidence that you exuded made sense so much after reading this book. And it also showed me how important the process is to everything, and being consistent, and how things that we all have every day, if being intentional, if you are intentional about those conversations, they can lead to significant change in our lives, and tap into something that, you know, could be in us that needs a little tender love and care, or needs a little push. And so this book for me, even though I was there in a coaching mentor role throughout you writing this book, giving you feedback, the story in this book, and it reads just like, and I told you this, like when I was reading it, I felt like I could visualize everything in the book. I literally saw you, and I saw the person you were having this conversation with, and I gave him his own face. It probably looked nothing like I visualized.
And that was like the piece that was, after I read it, was like kind of masterful. Because I sat down with the orthopedic surgeon.
Right.
Doesn't have a name. Never said his name. Gave his nephew's name.
Yep.
But he doesn't have a name. And I think now, and this is for me writing the book, right? But like I said, I wrote the book, but I didn't write the book, right?
Right.
But I think the reason why it came out that way is because the orthopedic surgeon is just a representation for all of us, right? He is that person who talks to us and gives us advice. And so I think the less detail about him, the better, right?
Right.
Because you don't have a way to really formalize, like, oh, what's he look like? You know what I mean? So all of that, he looks like whatever you say he looks like.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that detail, you know, going into his backstory and all, that was irrelevant to the point of this book.
Of who he represents.
Right. Yeah.
And I have the journal piece, right? So when I finished this book on that Friday at 11:56 p.m.
4 minutes to spare.
And y'all, this was not the way I saw this going. Like, I thought like, oh man, I got 7 days, okay. You know what, I get done with it by like Thursday. That give me a whole day to look over, to add whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Y'all, the book had to be done on Friday. Thursday, I was just finishing, like, I think I went to bed like Thursday, 1, 2 in the morning, and I had just finished chapter 3.
I remember that, and I was just like,
so I'm like, bruh.
I know basic math. I taught 3rd grade. I was just like, got a couple more
I
minutes.
got a couple more chapters in one day. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, okay, do I not go to sleep? Like,
can I tell you one of my favorite parts of the process for you?
Please.
When you shared that you didn't neglect your responsibilities as a father. You remember that?
I do. So that was that Saturday.
That was it, yeah.
That was that Saturday. So that Saturday, so part of the thing, and I write in the journal, and I'm gonna be sharing the journal part in some videos that are coming probably after the book is released. But journal 1 that Saturday when I was given, part of the thing I had to start getting up at 5 in the morning, drink alkaline water, and he said, be open to listen, you know. So universe speaks. So I said, okay. So that Saturday, took the girls over to see their grandma, and we were coming back. And they saw a tree that had fallen in the yard. And so they start saying, save the trees, save the trees, save the trees. And I was like, you know what? It would be good to watch a movie. I'm like, there's a movie about that. And so, you know, Dr. Seuss and, what's the name of the book? The Lorax. The Lorax. So I told the girls, I said, you know, there's a movie about that. And they said, well, we should watch the movie, Daddy. I said, okay, yeah, we'll watch it at some point. And so we get home. They're like, we're going to watch the movie today, huh, Daddy? Let's watch the movie. And I'm like,
in the back of your mind,
I ain't got time to be watching no movie. I got to write a book in 7 days.
And today's day one.
And today is day one, and I ain't got jack on this paper.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got a couple notes. You know what I mean? I got the introduction, which was great.
Yeah.
But, so I said, you know what? Let's watch the movie. You know, so we sat down and we watched the movie in the Lorax, and I got some nuggets from the movie.
Yep.
You know, that helped in the book, and then one of the pieces that I wrote and one of the lessons that I got is that spending time with family, you never lose. Like, you're never gonna lose.
You're not gonna lose.
You're never gonna lose. Like, it's never gonna go in the L column when you take out time to spend with family. And so that was one of the lessons that I got in writing this book, is that we all got stuff to do. But at the end of the day, you have enough time. You know what I mean? And
right.
We think that we don't have enough time.
Right.
And I think that was one of the magical things that I got through this, is that taking the time and making the time is worth the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that was one of my favorite moments from this week, from that week where we chatted, and so it just meant a lot to me to see that, and it confirmed in a belief system that I have that family's first. You know, even though you may have this downloaded, because when God downloads something to you, He's gonna make provision for it.
Yes.
And that provision is not always the way we see it. Because in the back of your mind on that Saturday, you know, when you had the idea to watch the movie, you know, you didn't realize provision was going to come through your daughters.
Oh no, I did not. No, I didn't see that.
And so that nugget right there, that's a book. that's a book. I mean, that is a podcast episode right there. So
yeah, for sure.
You know, so seeing you, you know, because this wasn't an easy week for you.
Oh, bro. Like that was part of the thing. Like, so, and I talk about this, you know, in the journal, is that I've heard God's voice before, you know what I mean? And like growing up, I mean, my story is a story of faith, and, you know, several moments where people like, bro, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I hear clearly. I know this is what I'm supposed to do. And so I heard his voice, you know what I mean? And he said, Kobie, you need to, he felt a little jar, like, get up. And I'm like, okay, I'm up. He's like, I need you to write this book. I'm like, okay. And I lay back down. You know what I mean? Like, okay. And he's like, nah, dude, get up. I'm like, okay, get up. And then he's like, all right, get some, you know, write this down. I'm like, I got no pen and paper. He's like, man, grab your phone, man. So I grab my phone, and then I hear the chapters. Chapter 1, stay in your lane. Chapter 2, stay in your lane, run your race. Chapter 2, playing the game to win. Chapter 3, figuring out, solving problems. Chapter 4, going for more, building your bridges. Chapter 5, living versus staying alive. Cool. All right, put my phone down. go to lay back down. It's like, dude, get up. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
come on, bro. Like, I'm gonna write the book. I'm gonna write it. He's like, Friday. I said, okay. I didn't know what Friday meant. I'm just like, okay, Friday. So I'm like, something's gonna happen Friday. He's like, no, it has to be done by Friday. This Friday? Like, he was like, 8/28. You got 7 days. So then I go into explain it like, I got stuff to do this week, Friday. But God, this is not a good week. I done planned Friday. But look, Friday. So at this point, I'm like, now I'm panicking. You know what I mean? Like God, you know how long it took me to write a book? Like write a book? Bro, I got books that are still not done.
Right. Oh yeah, I know.
That I started like a year ago.
And Kobie, I do too. And that's one thing I shared with you. I was just like seeing Kobie, and we talked about it this morning in the leadership with Ron. You're going to show a lot of people, whether they pick up this book or not, but pick it up.
Pick it up.
That there's no excuse for not finishing what you started.
And I think that was a message for me, man. Like, I got so much through this process. Like, that's probably going to be a book. Like, be on the lookout for that. Get this book first, but probably like what's coming is the 21 lessons or the 25 lessons. Got to put a number on it.
Yeah,
the number of lessons I learned in writing a book in 7 days. You know what I mean? Or what I learned about writing a book in 7 days. Because, y'all, when I tell you, like, trust when you hear Spirit talking to you. Like, and He speaks to all of us.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's more than anything. I think I really want to get that across. Is I don't want people to think like, oh man, like you're special. Like God speaks to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nah, bro. He speaks to all of us.
All of us.
You know what I mean? He speaks to all of us. The question is though, is are you listening?
Right.
And are you willing to be obedient? You know what I mean? But you gotta like spend time quietly, like to know His voice, because y'all, when I tell you, I tried to talk myself out of this during the week. Like, you know what?
That's why I was there. Nah, you got it.
Maybe that wasn't him. Maybe that was me.
Yeah.
Trying to like put some stuff on myself that, you know what I mean? Because, bro, when I tell you, I tried to get out of it, and I don't want y'all to think like, oh, he wrote a book in 7 days, and like, you know, I need y'all to understand and know, like, this was, like, I struggled through this. Like, I doubted myself through this, but at the end of the day, it was the reminder of the conversation I think we had on, I'm trying to think, it was either Tuesday, it was shortly after I finished chapter 2, and it was like, if He provides the vision,
He'll give you the provision.
He will give you the provision for it. And so
that was definitely Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. So that is the piece that I want y'all to really grasp too, is that this was not easy. This was not like me feeling, all like, oh man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I done wrote a book in 7 days, bro. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Da.
Right.
And, even after I finished, I remember Saturday, you're like, bro, how you feel? Like, you done? Like, bro, you wrote a book in 7 days. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm done, but I'm not done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm finished, but I'm not done. You know what I mean? Like, are you finished or are you done? Like, I don't feel like I'm neither. You know what I mean?
That's powerful.
You know what I mean? Because I the books I've written, Fred and Mary, Queen Infinity, Get in Your Place, love those books. I think Fred and Mary is not even scratched the surface of what it's going to do. I think this book is going to push that to a whole nother level. That's going to be another podcast.
Yeah.
But there's a different level of responsibility with this book, right? So that's the reason. Like all my other books, until now have not been on Amazon because I did, release them small press. You can get them through my site, selling them through schools, boom. But this book here is how I felt when he told me was like, bruh, somebody needs this. And needs, not wants this, so it wasn't even about me. Like, it wasn't like, I need you to do this because you got to get this out of you. It wasn't that. It was, somebody needs to hear this. And if you don't do this, like, you're going to hold some people up. Some people are not going to be able to do what they need to do because you have something that they need to complete the next step in their process or on their journey. Yeah. Or you got a piece of their puzzle for their destiny. Yeah. And if you don't get this done, like, they're not gonna have that piece of puzzle.
I got a question for you. You ready?
I don't know, but we're ready or not.
Ready or not.
Here we go.
When did you realize that the assignment given to you was connected to that conversation?
I felt that almost immediately.
Okay.
Like, I felt that day one in the journal because I put in my journal that, like I said, I've heard his voice before, but this was different. I said this was like, when you used to come home from school and, latchkey kids, so, that's, if y'all know what that is, y'all ain't old enough. But we used to get dropped off at the bus and get home, and our mamas and daddies weren't home. They still at work. So this is that feeling like when you get home and your mama say, you call me when you get in the house, right? You pick up the phone and you be like, hey mom, I'm home. Can I go outside or watch TV? And this was like that feeling when your mama or your daddy said, I don't care what you do, but when I get home, that house better be clean.
Or make sure you take the meat out so
I
can defrost so I can cook it.
That part, you know what I'm saying? And so they didn't have to say or else or they're gonna, like, she didn't have to say nothing. And so that's how it was with this. It was like Friday, you got till Friday to get this book done. And it was like, and it better be done. Like, I've told you to do stuff before and you didn't do it, right? And you played with it, right? You half obeyed, which is still disobedience. It's a whole nother podcast. But this was like, I'm not playing with you.
Yeah.
Like, Friday. I don't want to hear nothing about what you got to do. I don't care nothing about all the other stuff. Yeah. Like, Friday, this book better be done. And so that pressure and that burden, because I felt like it was more than just something I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, it really felt like something I had to do. Yeah. But not just have to do, but like had to do well. So it wasn't just a checking in the box. Right. Right. It was like, it had to be thoughtful. You know what I mean? And it had to be open to be willing to get through. And when like I said, when I went back and read it, I thought like, and everybody's process is different. But y'all, there wasn't no outline to this book. I didn't have I had the chapters. And when I tell y'all that this book is not what I thought it was gonna be, like, I thought I wish I could show y'all my phone, but I had stuff like, okay, chapter 1, and then at the end, I'm gonna have this, and I'm gonna talk about this in chapter 1. Let me see, stay in your lane, run your race, okay. And then playing the game to win. Oh, I got some notes about winning, you know what I mean? And then, solving problems. Oh, I'm gonna put this in chapter 3, you know what I'm saying? And so I started writing a book, and y'all, I couldn't use none of that stuff. No. I couldn't use none of it. And so that part was like, pushing through and understanding like you don't really have an option about not getting this done. And I put that on my journal, like day one, like I wanted to do a Facebook post. Like, yo, I started writing this book, and I got 7 days, but I didn't do it because I didn't want the accountability and I didn't want the extra added pressure. And I thought in the back of my mind, y'all, like,
But I think that's why you didn't have to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he told you to call me.
Uh-huh.
I think that was my role.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was chosen for a reason. It's not a pat on the back.
Oh
for
no,
Craig
bro. Like,
type.
but this is the thing. Like, and this is the other piece. Like, there's so many things. And like, we're gonna have to do another one of these
Yeah.
because we're not gonna get all of this
No.
out. But I think that's another. Like, you never know who in your life
Mm-hmm.
that is there that's going to be part of your journey, even though they haven't been like part of your journey before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, because we are fraternity brothers,
Right.
and we know each other,
Right.
and like we're friends.
Right.
But y'all, we probably talked more, and we've known each other how long since I moved here? 8 years?
8 years.
Maybe 8 years.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We talked more during this process of 7 days, and then since then.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked more then than we literally did the last 8 years.
Right.
Like combined,
Absolutely.
total.
Yeah.
Like total. So,
Which shows you something about friendships.
right.
It's not the quality.
Come on, somebody.
No, not the quantity. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not the quantity of time, but it's the quality.
The quality
of those
and the
interactions.
character of the people that you connect yourself to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And how you're living your life alongside of them, that they can be like, hey, you know what I mean?
Because that was a lot for you to trust me.
Oh
with.
man. Like when we were on
Because let's be honest, right? Like certain people getting something like that from you, a man of your stature, they're gonna say, "Hey, guess what? Guess what I'm working on, man? Guess what I'm doing? You know, don't tell nobody, but guess what I'm working on."
uh-huh.
The only person that knew were whoever you shared it with that I was working with you and my wife. That was it. And so, and that stemmed directly from my father, the late great
Being able to
Thomas King,
hold the
you
water.
know, being able to see him growing up and so many people trusting him with so much, sometimes very heavy things and serious things. And so when you came to me, it was natural for me to hold on to that, do whatever I needed to do with it, giving you feedback, keeping you to stay the course,
Right. Right.
Motivating you, being honest,
Because we need that.
being very honest with my interpretation and my tips and my whatever you needed. And I think for the most part, it was my job to listen. I think that was the biggest part. It wasn't really to change your thoughts and to change what was being downloaded to you. It was there to listen and take this lesson. Sometimes people need you in their lives at certain points just to listen. Just to listen.
Come on, man. Not even to say anything.
Not to say anything.
How
just
about
just
that?
to listen. And that's what you did.
Right, bro. Like this is
So that's what you did in this book,
Yeah,
and I want to talk about these chapters so bad, but I can't because you won't go get the book.
Oh, y'all gonna get the book.
You got to get the book, and
Yeah.
then after you get the book, maybe we'll come back and
Oh
do
yeah,
something.
we definitely gonna have to do something more because I think that part, right? So I do morning messages on Facebook sometimes.
Going
Right?
back to the memory.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
I know where you're going.
Come on, man.
I was with you, man. Look, I knew where you were going.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I do these Facebook messages, right?
Yeah.
And at first, people thought that like I was doing these morning messages to try to like inspire people. You know what I mean? Like trying to motivate them. And so probably about, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago, I had a conversation with somebody and it's like, man, I really like these morning messages that you're doing. They really inspire and I thank you for doing them for us. And I said, don't take this the wrong way. And I need you to listen to what I'm about to say to you. Like, I am really glad that they inspire you. I'm glad that you get something from them. But I'm not doing them for you. He was like, what? I said, nah, bro, I'm not doing it for you. It feels like that. I said, but it's all written in first person. I said, so that's when I started putting the hashtag I talk to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, y'all get a benefit of it, but really, y'all, these be for me.
Mm-hmm.
These be for me.
You said that right. These be for me.
These be for me, right?
Yeah.
These be for me. And,
Yeah.
And if you get something out of it, great.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing it like, oh man, I got 46 shares and 100 likes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if don't nobody respond, like, I'm good with that because I'm not doing it for that reason. And I think part of that is what we need to do is talk to ourselves, right? It's inspiration, the words that we say to ourselves. And that's part of the piece of one of the wisdoms in the book, right? One of the wisdoms is what people say to you, like, means something. But what you say and think about yourself means everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I write these things, and y'all, like, I got confirmation all along the way. Because like I said, I kept trying to talk myself out of this.
He did. Even after he talked to me.
Y'all, I kept trying to be like, you know what, this really probably was me, man. I've been this pandemic thing, and I might just been trying to, like, say something to myself to, like, get myself up out of this. Like, this probably wasn't me. And then, y'all, the day that I was told this, I opened up my Facebook page, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And the morning message that I wrote on 8/28/18 says, quote, "You take the test till you pass. The reason the same things are showing up in your life is because you haven't passed the test. Life is designed to create a better you. If you're not getting better, then you don't get to move on to the next thing. There is no social promotion. So you don't get to move on just because you've gotten older. You don't do the work required, you don't get to pass. Take a moment to see what keeps showing up that keeps you from living your best life and alter your behavior and actions. Learn your lessons so you can get promoted. Self-reflection is part of the lesson. Do what you know to do so you can grow. Hashtag I talk to myself. Hashtag grown people stuff. Hashtag morning motivation. Hashtag Kobie the Wiz. Hashtag lead from within. Hashtag Kobie speaks. Hashtag learn your lessons. Hashtag Kobie the Wiz coaching. Hashtag power living. Hashtag Wizism.
Wizism.
Right? And so that was a confirmation for me. And if you are open, right, you'll find out how along your journey and process that you'll get confirmation to let you know that you're not going along this journey by yourself. You know what I mean? And I think, like he said, what Craig said is sometimes what we need to do is when people call us and start talking, they're not always looking for your advice. Sometimes they just need somebody else on the other end so they don't feel like they're talking to themselves. But what they really are doing is talking to themselves. And so what we have to do is recognize when our job is just to be like, yup, really, so what you gonna do? So what you think you should do? Right? Not look to insert ourselves and say, well, if it was me, I would. But just be like, yeah. So what you think you're gonna do? You know what I mean? And help them to really realize that the answers they're looking for, they already got.
They already have them.
They already have them. And so that's a good piece of this. It's like a lot of the stuff that we're looking for, y'all, is already inside of us.
Yeah. It's already there.
It's there.
And this book showed me that. Things that I already knew, but it was just confirmation. And God, I want to talk about the other chapter so bad, but I can't. I'm not giving them to you.
We're gonna do it though. We got to come back because it's gonna be good.
Yeah, but Kobie, you are going to help so many people, like seen and unseen. The bridge that you're building, this bridge that has your name attached to it, by way of this book, is going to impact so many people. You're going to hear some of the testimonies. Some of them you're not going to hear. But the beautiful thing about influence and how it travels, whether in a moment or over time, is that it still does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And so we want this to be a bestseller, y'all, because it needs to be. Not because Kobie's name is attached to it, but because of what was downloaded into him. And he was the vessel, and you use that term quite a bit.
Absolutely.
You know, you were the vessel to complete this, and so if you're seeing this out here and you're connected to me, but not necessarily Kobie, I put my stamp of approval on this book. And you know me, I don't do that lightly. But this book, I saw the process, but I also read the words, and so I can tell you right now, it has drastically changed my life.
That's strong.
It really has, Kobie. It not just from things that I need to do from a business side of my life, but just in a personal way. The way that you stay committed to your family throughout this process, the way that you exhibited trust in me and trust in the process and the trust in God and being obedient. This book is a game changer, man. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro.
I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it. Like I'm excited for this book. Like I said, it's just a different level of burden and responsibility. You know what I mean? And I promoted my other books, but this one is different. Like this one, like I said, somebody has to get this, and I don't know who that somebody is. So I'm telling everybody, and like unabashedly, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you need to get this book. Like, you know, close to 20, literally everybody in my cell phone is gonna get it. Hey y'all, I just wrote this book. You need to get it. Like, you need to get it. Like, promoting this, you need to get this book. Like, because there's something in it for you, and it's gonna move you, shift you. Like, it's something for you. It's something for you in this book, and then you need to buy it for somebody and give it to somebody.
You're gonna finish it in a day.
Oh yeah, it's a quick read. It's a quick read. You know what I'm saying?
And what about for those people that are on the road all the time, Kobie? What you gonna do for them?
We got the audio book, y'all. Like, that's the other piece. So that was told to me Wednesday, like on day 3 when I woke up. So was it Saturday, Sunday? So Monday, I woke up and he said, you need to do the audio book. And I'm like, bro, does that have to be done in 7 days too? Like, come on, man. Like, come on, cut a brother a break. You know what I mean? But we got it done. We didn't get it done in 7 days, but it's coming. The audio book is done. We're actually going into the studio tomorrow. Final edits and revisions. But the audio book is going to be done as well. So you'll be able to get that on Audible.
Right.
And, you know, we got the ebook, we got the regular book, we got the audio book.
So you're reviewing this on September 20th. So that means
tomorrow.
If you're up, no. If you're up at 12 a.m. or 12:01, when that link goes live, go ahead and purchase it. Make sure you leave that review on Amazon, guys. Leave that review.
You know what? This ain't into the 20th. The link is up.
The link is up.
The link's gonna be up. It's gonna be up, so you can go right now.
You can go right now.
Go right now.
See, you're on this live for a reason.
Yeah. Go get it.
Go get it.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Click on the link.
Click on the link. You can buy the book right now. Yes. So, yeah, man. So, man, I appreciate it, bro. Like I said, we're gonna have to come back and do this. So, we got the ebook, we got the regular book, we got the audio book, and I was in conversation today with somebody, bro. He said behind this camera that y'all, we're talking about like the video book, y'all. The video book.
Let's go.
The video book. So this thing is different, y'all. It's different. And it's not gonna be like a movie. It's gonna be a video book. So we got some stuff coming. Like I said, this one different, man. This one different. It's a different level of responsibility with this one. So I gotta handle this one differently. So my man.
My brother.
So yeah.
Hey.
Y'all gotta get the book. Learning happens through conversations. 5 lessons leadership lessons for Masterful Living. Y'all gotta get it. So share this, get the book, buy the book for those who you love, who, need something that's gonna unlock something inside of them, because that's what this gonna do.
That's right.
So yeah, hashtag learning happens through conversations. Use that hashtag, share out. So we're looking forward to it, man. And we're gonna be back.
We'll be back.
Peace.
Peace.